Hello everyone, I'm Nicole from Team Bravo, and today I'm going to talk about the analysis for San Francisco Airport. So for the context, we are in the airline service industry. We have a strong competition and multiple dimensions of customer satisfaction in this industry. This is very important because most of analysis is based on measuring the customer satisfaction. And we would collaborate with the San Francisco Airport Marketing Department, and the result would be reported to the CMO on the company board. And our need is to be ranked number one as the International Gateway Airport to be the choice for premium passengers. And we need to figure out the data set for both international and premium passengers and understand the preference of passengers toward satisfaction and airport. Our KPIs are international airport rank and satisfaction at the customer survey. So we have 4 framed questions based on 3 different data sets: the premium passengers, international passengers, and all passengers of San Francisco Airport. Our first question is based on the dataset of 2015. What are the top 3 main considerations that international passengers most care when they are choosing airport number 1? And this the same for premium passengers. And question 2 is, what are the top 3 to 4 most significant factors that influence customer satisfaction? And question 3 is, what's the worst performance factor of SFO that affect premium passengers? And the last question is about what the specific characteristics would define the premium passengers. So at this part, we would give a clear definition about what are the international passengers and what are the premium passengers. So for international passengers, the variable we measure to use is about the destination, whether these customers have flying outside or inside the country. And we also created a boundary variable to measure whether this passenger is an international passenger or not. And for premium passengers, basically our consideration would use the question 5 and question 6 from our original data set to measure how long have you been using SFO and how many times do you flow out of SFO in the past 12 months. So in the solution, this part gives you a quick look about the result and main takeaways from our test, and we also give some solutions which we would talk about later. And we treated and tested international passengers, all passengers, and premium passengers separately, and found that for international passengers, their top considerations are store, sign, and food. For all passengers, their top considerations are walkway, screen, sign, and food. And for premium passengers, food and store seems to be the most consideration, and also these two are the worst performance factors which we need to improve in the future. And for the suggestion part, we will talk about later in the argument section. So this part talks about the process we would use in our whole analysis. Basically, we would mainly use the multivariate as our main function, and we would also combine with factor analysis and multiple regression to test the accuracy of our model. And for the last question, we would use a logistic regression and decision tree to figure out the specific characteristics of the premium passengers. And at last, we would also give out the result of 2016 test by using the same method. So for argument 1, we would give out the top 3 main considerations for international passengers. We use the multiple variate combined with the factor analysis and multiple regression. And we would use the Q7 all as the dependent variable, and independent variables are other variables in Q7 except Q7 all. And we found that food, store, and sign are the 3 top considerations of international passengers. And we also dig deeper to see what customers are complaining and where we can improve on each consideration. And we found that the price and business hours and store number limited seems to be the top complaints about stores, and sign need to be bigger and to improve the guide to boarding area and gates. And for food, we also found that people are saying that there need to be more chain brands coffee shops and more healthy menus and more price level supply. And for all passengers, we also used the same method and found that their top 4 main considerations on satisfaction are sign, screen, walkways, and food. And we also test and we found that the main takeaways is that San Francisco Airport did well on screen and walkways because of the high performance on average rating and few comments and complaints about this two part. But for the sign, basically it's the same as international passengers, but they need also to distinguish the misunderstanding 1 and I in terminals. And food still is the worst performance, and we need to increase the space and tables within the restaurants and increase the diversity of food supply, which means food needs to be cheaper and healthier. And we also test on gates, boarding area, peak, island, and terminals, and to find the best performance and worst performance part, so that SFO could learn more about advantages from the best premium performance part and pay more attention to the bad performance part. So still for the premium passengers, we still use the same method and found that the top 5 considerations for premium passengers are sign, food, walkway, screen, and store. And the worst performance factors are store and food. For store, we found that premium passengers mind the price of stores and need more shops and variety of souvenirs, so we can improve the performance of store from aspects just mentioned. For food, the average rating of cleanness of SFO restaurants is 4.17, which is even higher than the cleanness of SFO all, so we can improve restaurants from some other aspects like food varieties, price, space, service, attitude, just like the most common said. Last but not least, to measure which passengers could most become premium passenger, we found that we used the decision tree and logistic regression and found that the most used airline for premium passengers are United, American, and Virgin America. And the flights of premium passengers are concentrated on domestic flights. And we also measured whether age, gender, and income would affect the premium level, and we found that income seems to be the most important factor to define the premium passengers. So in conclusion, regarding the top considerations of premium passengers, international passengers, and all passengers, and we can find out that food, store, and sign seems to be the most consideration factors for all the overall passengers of SFO. So we can improve these aspects in the future. And for food, we can increase the diversity of food supply to apply much more cheaper and healthier food, and also increase the store and increase the number of restaurants and increase the space and tables within the restaurants. And for store, we need to increase the diversity of souvenirs and also provide lower price. And for sign, need to be bigger and increase the number of signs and to let them be more obvious and different differentiate confusing letters and numbers. Last, we will talk about the test for 2016. And we found that for international passengers, SFO should update their metric considering screen, sign, and walkways as their main factors. And for premium and all passengers, the top considerations didn't change a lot and they can still use all the metric. Assume the management has paid attention to our report and made some changes in 2016. We found that food seems to become worse in 2016 compared with the result of 2015. The average rating decreased and customer complaints increased dramatically. So San Francisco Airport really need to pay attention to our suggestion on food. So that's all. If you have any questions, you can email us, and thank you very much.